Hopefully, I believe they can still expect excellence. I think we have a lot of people committed towards doing absolutely the best thing they can for each and every child. And, we've got amazing kids. It's just an amazing community. And, we had the National Signing Day this morning where kids in all kinds of sports are signing scholarships to participate at the next level. But the one thing that we're most excited about are numbers of National Merit semifinalists and National Merit finalists that are just growing by leaps and bounds. And we had, I guess, about 80 to 85 students this past year receive some kind of accolade for National Merit semifinalists, National Merit commended students, and all of those various honors. And that number looks to possibly double this next year. We've just got a lot of really talented kids in the pipeline, and I think we're getting more efficient about helping students reach those goals, and so we're really proud of that. We're proud of how we're doing financially. I know this isn't probably something that gains headlines, but we're looking at just our utility usage numbers over the last several years. And when I first came to the district, we were spending just under $3 million a year on utilities, and we've reduced that by over $700,000 while adding over 300,000 square feet to our entire district. So I think we're being much more efficient with our energy dollars. Again, one of those things that you don't see. We now have our second school building that has a large solar array on it. You have Carroll Middle School and Carroll High School. So hopefully what that means is that we're able to take dollars that we were spending on gas and electricity and putting them into programs for kids, whether they be higher academic programs or they're academic programs for the average student, or just some things that our kids are saying, hey, we'd love to do this, but we haven't had the opportunity to in a while. So I think what we hope is that our parents are going to be able to see us be more flexible for each and every child in the upcoming school year. That's hard to say. I'm kind of excited about everything. We talked last year about that we were moving into a strategic planning process, and we met about 2 weeks ago with over 100 citizens and community members who are participating in that project. We had about 40 participate with students or teachers and staff in our original planning phase, and we came up with kind of a rubric that we're looking at. But now we have right at 100 community members plus staff members who are actually going in and looking at individual objectives to find ways to meet students' needs. And I believe the next phase of that is going to be actually going out and surveying kids. If we say we want to meet a child's needs, we want to meet them where they are and help them be where they end up where they want to be. Now you got to go ask a student, what do you want to be? And so we're really excited, or I'm really excited about that next phase of that planning process as we look at what does Carroll need to be over the next 20 years. With our kindergarten students, what does it need to look like for them when they graduate? And that's really exciting. I've got kids my personal students are in 4th grade, 5th grade, and 10th grade. And then we've got an older one that graduated. And so it's kind of neat to see how things have changed since my older one got out, and dreaming of what it's going to look like for that 4th grader, when she's a senior in high school. And so we're excited about that project. We're excited about the continued success of our kids. I guess just everything is exciting right now. It's again, I can't say it enough. It's a great place to be. Our families are committed to their students. I can't find anybody in town who doesn't want the absolute best education possible for their child. They want their children to be able to participate in all kinds of activities. They don't want them just pigeonholed into one thing. We've had such a great relationship with our city, with the staff, with our counseling board are all friends. We go to church together. It's a small town feel, and I think again, whether you're driving down Carroll Avenue or at Dragon Stadium or in a library somewhere, I think everybody is looking around for ways to improve. How do we make it better? How do we make it better without stressing our kids more too? You've got Spark, you've got other organizations who are looking at ways to make sure that kids are healthy and safe. But I think just that general idea of, look, our kids are going to leave Carroll ISD and go impact the world, and we want that to be positive. And so it kind of goes back to the old Hillary Clintonism of it takes a village to raise a child, and I think we've got an outstanding village who are looking out for the best interests of every kid in Carroll ISD. And so I think when you have those things, the research is pretty clear that if you've got a community that supports education, you got educated parents in the home, you don't have a lot of poverty in the homes, then you're going to have academic success. And so I think that all contributes. But if you sit and spend a few minutes with any of our students, it's just amazing to have one-on-one conversations with them. I sat down with one of our students the other night at our board appreciation dinner, and it was a young lady that I've known since she was in second grade. And I just had the best conversation. She's in 11th grade now, but it was just a very intelligent, adult-like conversation with a student who had her, she had goals. She knew kind of what she wanted to do in life. She knew what she needed to do next week, but also next year, and talking about the university she was looking at. And so it's just an incredible opportunity to visit with our kids. This next Thursday, we'll be hosting our Carroll Medical Academy career fair here at this building, if you get a chance. Mm-hmm. And so there'll be about 50 to 55 physicians or medical personnel in our building. We have about 250 students who will come through, and they get to visit with doctors and anesthesiologists and veterinarians and EMTs and technicians and other folks about what some of the careers are out there. And I don't, or in medicine, and I don't know that you'll find something like that at very many places, where not only do we have kids committed to that and parents and boosters committed to that, but that we'll have 50 to 60 people take time out of their jobs to come help our students decide what they want to do in the future. So it's those kinds of things, I think, that make Carroll ISD and our community great. Well, one of the biggest ones is the math issue. With the new assessment and accountability, and I can forward you a slide deck of kind of what we're looking at with accountability. But math has changed statewide, and so what we're faced with right now is a lot of the things that kids needed to learn in 6th grade, for example, are now being pushed down into 5th grade, and that's from K through 12. And at the same time, the state has changed how they're rating schools, and this is an issue for every school district in the state. But so now you're not only accounted for how you are assessed this year, but how you progressed from last year to next year in about 4 different areas. And the frustration of that for teachers and students and districts all over the state is that it's a different ballgame this year, because all these other essential knowledge and skills are pushed down into the lower grade level, so it really isn't an apples-to-apples assessment. And so math is concerning to everybody. Finances are concerning to everybody. I saw this morning where the Senate Education Committee was going to meet about schools and public finance, but they're also looking at giving back $3 billion in property tax relief and $1 billion in, I think, business franchise tax. And that's great, and we all want lower taxes, but at the same time, Carroll ISD didn't get near the money back from what was cut a couple of years ago. We lost about $4 million a year. We got about $900,000 back, but then with unfunded mandates, we picked up another $1 million in expenses. And so it's a little concerning right now to look at a session that's starting out saying we have a surplus, we're going to give back $4 billion. With some of the our new representatives at the state level concern public education, because we're still struggling to kind of make ends meet and do what our kids really desire, what our communities desire. So the financial piece is still a struggle. Making sure that kids are happy and healthy and not bullied, not picked on, they feel good about themselves, is always a huge concern of school districts all over the state. Everybody wants kids coming to class with a smile on their face. They want to feel good about how their classes went. They want them leaving with a smile on their face. And so that's part of our strategic planning process, to make sure they have structures in place to help support those students. So that's always a big challenge. I think maintaining excellence is a big challenge. You talked about that Carroll ISD has a great reputation, and it's stressful for people to think, oh no, what if we do less than last year? And we don't want our adults to put that stress on kids. by you got to do better, you got to do better. So we want kids to feel good about where they are. We want our staff to feel good about where they are. We don't want somebody to feel like, oh no, if we slip a tiny bit, then the sky is falling. And our state representative Giovanni Capriglione has helped us with that, because with the new accountability standards, we feel like if a school district is at a 99% level and they drop to 98, you shouldn't get punished because you dropped. You're still at 98%. And so he's asked for some safeguards to be put in place. It really impacts districts all around this region, not just Carroll. But you can drive 30 minutes in any direction and be in a phenomenal school district. And so we hate to see if any of those districts dip a point for them to get beat up on the new accountability ratings. And so Giovanni's helping us with that, as other state reps are too. So I think our biggest challenges are going to be financial. I think it's going to be continuing to meet needs of students wherever they need to be, because you don't know what those needs are sometimes. Making sure that kids don't feel stressed, making sure they can participate in lots of activities and still be excellent at any of those activities, and just kind of keeping the ship moving forward. I feel like going through this planning process, the strategic planning process, what we've been hearing from this group, and I expect we don't have an official theme or motto yet, but I think one thing that we're really going to try to build on is this idea of expect excellence. That in Carroll ISD you should expect excellence, whether they're riding the bus, whether they're in a band program or a fifth grade math room. And so I think if we had to have a motto or catchphrase, we've got to protect the tradition. We've got our dragon family, but I really think this expect excellence is something that we can build on, and I think that's something that we can take into the future, because we want all of our programs, we want all of our classrooms, we want all of our activities to be as excellent as possible. We've talked about that for years, and I think, like you said, our kids have picked up on that, our community has picked up on that, our families have picked up on that. I think our neighbors have picked up on that. That I think if we're going to do something, we're going to expect excellence.